Hello, America, and to our friends around the world that we could soon become your neighbors. Welcome to the Common Sense Show. I'm Dave Hodges. This is the Common Sense Show that's freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. Unfortunately, I can't make it one unindebted nation person at a time. Americans are leaving the United States in record numbers. Now, the wealthiest money is already leaving to escape taxes. Cayman Islands, Swiss bank accounts, not open to you unless you have $25 million. However, however, go on YouTube and I'll tell you what you'll find there in just a moment. And then we'll talk about the trend, why it's happening, and how some of you right now might be thinking, should I be preparing to do this? Well, unfortunately, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you would have to do something unethical to make that happen. Not illegal, unethical. We're going to tell you about the rising tide of Americans leaving. Remember we said if you build a border wall to keep people out, you might be keeping people in. And that's beginning to happen. And I'm not exaggerating. Hey, we are brought to you by a great set of products. And in these tough times, I tell people food, water, guns, gold, ammo, natural medicine, and tools. Well, this is the part that keeps me healthy. The Nanosoma liquid sprays, right? Right. Boost your immune system to unbelievable levels. Vitamin C, vitamin D, lengthen the telomeres. And what you get is a response like I had where I overcame something that was just devastating. And today I'm better than I've been in 25 years. And it's because of this. It wasn't on anything else. Now, grace of God and some of my hard work certainly has added to that. But this product started the ball rolling. Also, too, when you're in that gym and you're trying to work out and do things, or even just gardening and doing basic chores around the house, the old inflammation, the arthritis, all that comes into play. Well, this is where the nanosoma gel comes in. It grows pluripotent stem cells. Took me 6 to 8 weeks to get relief. It'll vary. For some, it'll be shorter. For some, it'll be a little longer. But it does work. Nanosoma gel. And then, of course, there's the skin cream for fine lines and wrinkles. If you're thinking of that line, I'm not, but a lot of people do, and that's okay. But what I like is cuts and burns, and this is really critical. These three together are the starter pack, and it's 15% off. Go to iwantmyhealthback.com/Dave Hodges. iwantmyhealthback.com/Dave Hodges. All right. You go to YouTube and put in people leaving America or any such search term, you're going to see this is growing exponentially. Now, it used to be just the richest money left America. Who'd leave America? All our wonderful freedoms gone. All our economic opportunities, except for the upper 1%, gone. And so people in that upper middle class, before they slide even further to the devastation that we're going through, they are hitting the road. Where are they going? Costa Rica, Panama. I had lunch a few weeks ago. Very lovely lady that I've corresponded with on various political issues, and she's an expat living in Panama. And she said they love Americans here, love Americans. And we're looking at this. Belize is another place, being the outer lying areas, high crime in Belize City. Okay, but you can go there, and by the way, they speak English there. They speak English there. Uruguay in South America is an up and coming place. Where people aren't going is Europe because their leaders have led them into the poorhouse. Why go there and share in the misery? Many people are going to Singapore, Thailand. Now, here's what's interesting. You can live there for a fraction of the cost, and I'll spare you the details. Go do your own research. Go to YouTube, look this up, and they'll tell you average expense, da, da, da. What do you need to come in to be a permanent resident? They tell you what your income levels have to be, this, that, and the other. Now, any income you make there, if you want to keep getting your Social Security and other stuff, you're going to have to pay taxes. You'll be dual taxed. We're one of the few nations in the world that double taxes its citizens based on foreign income. Are you surprised? You think Bill Gates is paying that tax? I don't think so, but you will be. But nonetheless, the relief you get is so significant that being double taxed is not outweighed by the economic benefit of leaving. You say, I'll be away from my family. You know what? Americans are in a very similar place to Europeans suffering religious intoleration, economic stratification to their detriment. And they had to say, do I just leave everything behind and go to America? And then the depressions that Europe had in the late 1800s, going to go to America. I heard the streets are paved with gold. Well, where you're going isn't paved with gold, but you can grow your own food. Healthcare is a fraction of the cost, as is housing. Now, if you want to live on the beach, yeah, you're going to pay quite a bit of money. But if you want to live in just a regular home comparable to what most of you live in now, a fraction of the cost. And then some people, like I know, are giving up their citizenship entirely once they decide they want to be there and get into a naturalization program in the country they're in. This is happening with increasing regularity. And I started listing reasons why people are telling me they are leaving. And what we are seeing here is that, well, our education system absolutely sucks. Look at California. I don't know how they're going to keep the public schools open. And I'm not going to get into the details, but this is going on all across the country, but really bad in California. People want to escape the woke system. They're pulling their kids out. They're homeschooling. Not everybody can do that. And so the kids that are there are facing diminishing numbers of teachers, higher class size, less supplies, programs canceled. Yeah, education sucks. You got kids? Yeah, you're better off in most foreign schools now. If you can't homeschool. College going up 8 times faster than the cost of living, but that may not be a bad thing because for the first time ever, Dave Ramsey, are you listening? Uh, College unemployment is higher than high school grad unemployment. Yeah, pretty amazing, isn't it? Um, we're spending $900 million a day on the Iran war. Oh, we got lots of money for that, but we can't help America. We're getting ready to draft Americans to go into war. Why do you think they activated the draft automatically? You think that's a coincidence? Yeah, you must be a coincidence theorist if you believe that. Okay, layoffs are increasing. AI is just going crazy. Now, will AI come to these countries? Eventually, and when you go to these countries, realize you're staying one or two steps ahead of the burning bridge. But that's better than being on the bridge as it burns down, falls into the water, and you and your family drown in debt, right? Listen to this. Volkswagen just laid off 50,000 people. Pinterest, 15% of their workforce. Amazon, 30,000 people. All AI replaced, by the way. Oracle, 37%. Utility rates up 15 to 20% across the country. All for the data centers. Your water rates are doubling and quadrupling as water rights are sold. New companies controlled a lot by the data centers and their subsidiary holdings are charging you an arm and a leg just to get water. This is absolutely criminal what's going on, and our government just looks the other way. Total household debt is over $18 trillion. You heard me right. Mortgages are 13 trillion and people are losing their homes for all the funny business we talked about, like preparing to tax unrealized incomes. And when your house appreciates, it's not bad enough that you got to pay more property tax. You don't benefit from the appreciation. Now they want to tax the difference in be caused by the inflation that they caused to have happen. Okay, $18 trillion, 13 trillion, like I said, home mortgages, auto debt, 1.7 trillion on a depreciating asset. Uh, Credit card debt is 1.2 trillion. It just goes on and on and on and on. US government is $39 trillion in debt. No hope of getting out of it. It's going to collapse. We'll go to digital. You'll have a digital ID. We're in a flux surveillance spy state. And you'll have no rights. They put kill switches in cars, and the kill switches also contain a geographic component that won't allow you to drive out certain preset parameters that you don't set. Your auto mechanic doesn't set it. It'll come in artificially. All your driving habits are now reported when you get these kill switch cars, the modern cars, the 2026, 2027s, and they're reporting your driving habits to your insurance company, right? And now they even have a speed averaging system in Colorado. This is going to go national. So they monitor you, checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2 to checkpoint 10. And if you average more than 9 miles an hour over the speed limit, boom, you're getting a ticket. But they don't even know if it was you driving. Could have been a kid. You loaned your car to the neighbor to go run errands, and he's a fast driver. You didn't know, and you get the ticket. Total lack of due process. This is all the BS that's happening in our country. And I could keep going on and on and on. Oil is doubling and tripling, and there's no end in sight. That's endless inflation. And then there's profiteering by the oil companies, as I mentioned in the previous segment. On top of that, you can't get fertilizer now for the farmers, so food costs are going to go way up. Food production is going to go down. We're going to have shortages in this country. Aluminum has basically gone to zero on imports and all the things that aluminum go into. And then our plastics industry is in the toilet because it's petroleum based. And plastics keeps the cost of things down, the production of things. So guess what's going to happen? They're not going to go to more expensive manufacturing techniques. They're just going to say, well, we're going to move on beyond that, and you'll have more shortages. The Trump tariffs that I originally supported, because that's how we used to pay our taxes, but they're not being used to help you, and your taxes aren't going to go away, as I thought they originally might. I thought Trump was going to get rid of the income tax. But no, the tariffs are designed to help special interests. This is why people are leaving. And I know some of you are thinking, boy, I got to think about this. I don't really want to leave America. Well, you're not leaving to keep the freedom because that's diminishing. You're not, well, you're geofenced when you walk into your church now, and TPUSA is the main agent. That's a FARA document, foreign agent registration, run by an Israeli company with a Mossad working group that does the geofencing, and TPUSA has been called on to manage it. At least that's what it says in the FARA document. How do you like this? It's East Germany on steroids. Can you imagine if Stalin and East Germans would have had all this? What things would have really been like? Horrible. Can I blame people for leaving? No. And I will tell you, there are certain conditions that will come that I won't be mentioning here because I don't want the government to take preemptive action against me. And it's not illegal what I'm planning, but I'm planning to bypass some of the things that I believe are coming and to do it legally, but they'll move to stop and intervene. And so I can't tell you, but there are things that are coming that are worse than what I'm telling you here. But this was enough. I'm Dave Hodges. This is the Common Sense Show. Welcome to Commie America.